Hey, it's TDA and welcome to my Let's Play of Dyson Sphere program. This is a game which is about building factories on a planet-sized scale, and in the end you want to build one of those that you can see on the screen here, a Dyson Sphere, which is basically a giant construction around the planet. I'll be starting a new game with a fixed seed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you type this in that same thing, you're able to play along with me if you want. So this is mostly meant at people that just want to check out the game, what it's about. Maybe for players that want some tips on how to take the first steps into building a nice, pretty large factory. So I'll leave on the tutorial and explain what I do while I do it. This cluster has been chosen at random, by the way. We have a black hole, a neutron star, some giants. All in all, it's quite random, but if you put them in the same cluster seed, you'll be able to play along with me. Now, my apologies for the music, it starts out a little loud, but it should get better in-game right now.
Welcome to the actual universe. You may find it's different from our homeland. Should you be able to adapt to the laws of physics in a short time, I am your advisor and will help you through this mission.
The advisor speaks English, but it's a funny translation every now and then, so if you find some weird sentences, just laugh about it. It's early access, so maybe it gets approved, and if not, well, it's fun.
Everything here is yours. As one of Cosmo and the pioneer of the Dyson Sphere program, you will explore this cluster step by step. By using the resources here to construct the Dyson Sphere to provide energy for the center brain to maintain homeland, starting from scratch. I have chosen a designated planet for you to start the mission, which has necessary resources for initial development. Now please drive the space capsule to the planet.
You always start out on one of these nice green planets, kind of like Earth. They're nice and shiny. I like to keep them mostly that way. They have a fixed set of resources there, basically everything you need for the first stages of the game. But there's other planets in our system as well, so like you can see on the top left here, Nashira 1. A gas giant over here.
Now you are about to reach the designated planet.
Alright, so let's land on our planet and let's get started. Again, I'll leave the tutorial on. There's a lot of it at the start. In the meanwhile, while it's talking, I'll just collect some stuff, etc. Just so we don't have to do that afterwards.
This is Icarus, a lightweight industrial mecha with powerful functionality. You can use the arrow keys or right-click on the destination to control its movement. In this mission, you will manipulate Icarus to travel beyond the stars and create miracles. Now try to recycle the space capsule. Right-click on it to recycle.
I really recommend that you do so. You get some very nice...
You can use the same operation to collect resources, such as trees, gravel, etc. In the meantime, hold down Shift and right-click to give a series of commands.
Items was the second word I was going to say.
You receive several items after recycling the space capsule. Click the inventory button in the lower right corner of the screen to open the cabin to view them.
So you can put these fuel things in your mech to make sure you keep charging up. You can also do the same with wood, as well as these plant fuels. You can actually also put in the organic crystals, but I don't recommend doing so because they are quite useful later on.
You can hold down mouse middle button drag to rotate the angle of view, or slide the mouse wheel to zoom in and out.
Now let's get some early research started. This will get us our miners, and it's the only thing we can do. This will get us belts and sorters, which we can use to transport items in and out of buildings with the sorters and along the planet with the belts. And of course we also get storage, which is nice. To make sure we don't have to do all the smelting ourselves, we'll get smelting afterwards. And after that we'll get the basic assembler, so that we don't actually have to craft everything ourselves. And after that we'll be going for the blue science. This will actually let you produce electromagnetic matrices, or just blue science basically, and you'll need that to basically get all the other stuff, all the other research after that, so it's a good place to start. Now in order to do that we need to craft some, oh, that's not the crafting menu, we need to craft some magnetic coils. You craft 2 for each craft, so just 5, queuing up 5 of these should do the trick. I'll also open up the map just to get our bearings for a moment here.
In the planet view mode, you can hold down the middle mouse button drag, rotate the angle of view, and hold down the right mouse button, drag to roll the angle of view, press N key to point to the front to the North Pole. You have created a mining machine to achieve ore collecting automation. Pick it up from the inventory, or select it on Gathering of Construction menu to build it.
Okay, so just going back
in the
to
planet view mode,
map for a
slide
moment.
the mouse wheel to enter the star map mode.
God, there's a lot of tutorial. Okay, so like I was saying, just going back to the map for a moment, if you press N, like you just explained, it will flip the map up so the north is on the top, which makes it a little bit easier to get your bearings. We are actually over here. We have some iron veins, we have some copper over here. I think I saw some stone. Yeah, we have stone over here, stone over there, more iron here, some coal up north. And we also have a nice stretch of land over here to build on. So I think we'll do that. It's worth noting that you also start out with some small veins close to where you land. But since we have several larger veins over here, I'll just use those so I don't have to backtrack later and relocate my base. So, what we got was our first mining machines. And you need to place them such a way that
you can use the
R
key to rotate the mining machine for covering more veins. The more veins covered, the faster the ores will be gathered. If you want to ignore grid snapping, try holding down the Shift key.
And we need to power it, so let's do that. Let's do it like this.
One of your production facilities is not powered. You need to
Yes,
keep it within the power coverage area and supply it with power facilities in order to maintain its normal works. Wind turbine. You have established your first power grid. Not all power facilities has its
Yay.
power supply area. Use the Tesla tower to extend the area of the power grid.
Now, we need some of these gears, so I'll make a few of those, and we will need some, what are these called? Circuit boards, I think. Yeah, circuit boards for the next research, so we can actually automatically smelt stuff. Meanwhile, I also want another one of these, but I need copper and more gears for that, so let's pick up some of that and let's go mine some copper. You need to do a little bit of the mining yourself at the start. There's not really any way around it. That's not a big deal though. We'll also need some more power. So of course we just ran out of power. And you can actually use these Tesla towers to transport power between places. So these don't actually generate power themselves, but they do make sure that your power coverage increases. There we go, we have our smelters. Nice. Actually,
You have
no, we
received
don't
the
have
sorter
our
and the
smelters yet,
conveyor
it's the
belt,
sorters.
which can achieve full automation now. Use the conveyor belt to transport the piled up ores from the mining machine, and the sorter can deliver the ores from the conveyor belt to the smelter for automatic smelting.
I recommend that you try to cover at least 6 veins with your mining machines, mostly because by doing it that way, once you have 2 of them, it makes sure that you can fill up an entire Mark 1 belt. So it's the starting belt that we just started out with, this one. So 2 mining machines, each covering 6 veins, so 12 veins total. It can be the same ones, just as long as each is covering 6. Will fill up 1 belt. lot of ore over here. However, now what we need is the smelters. And in order to get the smelters going, I'm sorry for all the flipping through the menus. We need some of these, so another 5 of these, 5 crafts of this, and another 5 crafts of this one, which we should be able to do once we power up. Yes, I know we have these. So we power this one up. There you go. This way we don't never have to manually mine copper again. Which one did I need? I needed one more craft of this. There we go. I might as well make a few more, it's not really a big deal. However, what we also want to craft are some of these, as we'll need those to actually transport our stuff around. And yeah, we'll be doing a lot of that. We will also need some more sorters to get materials in and out. And I think I am out of iron. Generally speaking, you always want to start out with iron because you need a lot more iron than you need anything else, especially early on. So yeah, if you want to be efficient, start there. Now we're almost to our sorters. And let's see.
When putting a conveyor belt, all you need to do is determine the starting point and the end point of it. In addition, use the up arrow key to lift up one level, and use the down arrow key to drop down one level after the conveyor belt is lifted. Press keypad 0 to reset the construction height of the conveyor belt to the ground. If you don't want the conveyor belt to be attached to the building, you can try holding down the shift key.
Okay, so
you built a smelter, which can smelt basic materials, such as iron ingots and copper ingots automatically. While you want to make the raw materials and products get in and out of it autonomously, you need to use sorters and conveyor belts. After selecting the recipe, you can use the less than key to copy the recipe and the greater than key to paste the next building that needs to set the same recipe.
Now, as you can see, we're getting into some
The sorter is a transportation connector of cargoes between facilities. It will automatically transport them as long as the supply facility and the receiving facility are bridged.
So let's put down a few more power towers so everything is actually working. Can I reach between both of them? No, I can't. That's not a problem. So as you can see, we're now just getting the iron bars out of here ourselves, which is really nice. You might wonder why I built this far. I'm actually going to show you later on that I want to set up the base in such a way that we stay as effective as we can be towards not having to rebuild and everything looking a little bit pretty while we do so. Again, starting out with iron because you need far more iron than you need anything else. And we also need some gears, but those should be coming up. And I am also going to bring this all the way down here. Let's see, I am actually going to move this over just a little bit. Like so, maybe? Yeah, why not? And do that again. And again, it will make sense in a moment.
You have a building without recipe set. Please set the recipe you want. After selecting the recipe, you can use the less than key to copy the recipe and the greater than key to paste the next building that needs to set the same recipe.
And let's have some copper bars being made over here. So make sure it's actually in there. Copper ingots, there you go. And once the drones finish laying this little foundation over here, and while they do that, let's cut some more trees down. It should start transporting the ore all the way down to the smelter, and then we have 2 types of bars being produced automatically for us. So that is really nice. And you can see it going. It does, of course, help if everything is actually powered. So let's do that. Like so.
You have done building the first power transmission
70
facility,
bars here.
Tesla Tower.
All bars there.
It can carry out short-distance wireless power transmission and expand the power supply area of the power grid. Click on it to view the current power grid information.
Okay, so in order to build belts, we need these. We need the gears. And in order to produce gears, we will need one of those. I'll just queue up a few things of everything, just so we have that going. And then let's get started on the next phase, because we want gears, because we are going to need belts, lots of belts. Now let's see, I kind of want to have this 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, so around here I think is good. And again, I'll leave a little bit of room for myself, just to avoid running out of the room later on. In order to get the iron ingots to the machine, we actually need to make sure we can get that far. And again, I think I might have been... Let's put it like that. Leaving myself some room to expand the other starting things later on. That does mean, however, that I will need more power. So you can overlap it with one of your previous buildings and just drag it out. And that way it will automatically space it so that it's in a legal position, basically. Let's make sure we have it powered as well, otherwise it won't be doing anything. We also need to make sure that the ingots here can actually go out. So you connect it to the belt like that, and connect it inwards to this one, and then we set it to making gears. And this way we don't have to make manual gears anymore either. Now of course we did also have the circuit boards that we were looking at earlier. Those actually need two things, so that is this one. Iron, and they need copper ingots. So that means that I need some more belts, of course, because you always have too few belts. And unfortunately I didn't have that many gears yet, so I'll have to handcraft a few, but that's okay. There you go. We have these going out. Let's connect it to the belt. The annoying thing is you actually need to have the belt constructed before you can connect it. Later on that's not as big of an issue since you'll be copy-pasting a lot of buildings, but initially it can be quite annoying. And then let's space it nicely aligned with the other one over here. And we want these going in, as well as these going in. Now, again, you might wonder, why are you spacing it two apart? Well, you can just have these close together. I'm doing that because I know that I will be building a few things out here later on. And if I do it like this, it will be nicely aligned with each other. Yeah, generally speaking, it just looks pretty. Other than being efficient, we also want to make sure it looks efficient. Which actually reminds me that this one is wrong if I want to do exactly what I just said. So let me quickly replace that, because this actually needs to go up, like that. And then this can go in here, this can go in here. We can have this going out. And we can have this going out here. The sorters can actually reach a few spaces, so if you do it like this, nothing to worry about, and we will be getting the circuit boards as well as the gears, and you can actually pick them up from your belts like this. Just click on the belt, click on the picture, and you will start picking these up as they pass along the belt. Not really an efficient way of picking them up right now, but yeah. As you get faster belts, it'll speed up. Okay, so we have these two. We also need those magnetic coils that we keep on getting or needing. And in order to do that, I'll actually tap this one. As you can see by all the flashing, I'm actually having some power issues. That's not a big deal. Now, in order to make sure we don't get too much issues with our belts over here, let's do this like that. And do it like so. And then have this going out. Over here. Move it up. And then move it down again. Like so. We will need some power, and I think I'm out of power towers, so let's build quite a few of those. Actually, let's build a few less of those initially, just so we can get it started. And then build some more. A couple of these will do as well. We might need a smelter or two. Probably some of those. And as you can see, because we have so much materials, it's very easy to just queue a lot of things up just to get yourself started and not having to worry too much about crafting things one by one anymore. I do still have one of these, so that's very nice, because that will allow me to do this and this, and then we can craft the magnets, which is one of the materials we need for the magnetic coils. Now the coils we will be crafting over here. Well, let's keep that short for a moment so we have enough belts to actually do that. And there we go. And then that one can be over there. We have some belts left to get it out. No, we don't. So let's just craft that like so. This is really annoying. Where are my belts? Oh, I'm crafting all the other stuff. Hold on. Get me some belts first. And then you can do the other stuff again. There you go. A few of those. A few of those, etc. Okay, now we have belts again. And outputs. You can put those on here. You will actually need some of these as well. And you will need some of the magnets which are coming in over there. And there we go. Now, of course, it won't actually work if it doesn't have power, which we can fix by setting a Tesla tower over there. Then we do need to set the recipe. And finally, we need to make sure things are actually leaving our smelter, like so. And of course, the sorter is just unpowered. There we go. And we remove that one, set this one over here, and we can have everything looking a little bit more symmetric, which is always really nice to have. There you go. Okay, so now guys, you can see we have all our initial material needs fixed. We have magnetic coils over here, which you can just pick up. We have the circuit boards over here. We have gears over here. We have iron ingots over here. We have the copper ingots over here. And we have magnets over here. Basically, we have everything fixed. We are running a little bit low on power, but in the meanwhile, I also crafted a few of these wind turbines. And if I just remove that one, I should be able to place a few more of those. And like so. And like so. Just place them a little bit out of the way in an area that we won't be visiting anytime soon. So they don't get in the way. They take up a lot of space, so you don't want them in the middle of your base. Well, you can actually, but it just looks very messy. We don't like mess. Alright, so that's it for the first episode. In the next episode, we will stop thinking small and start thinking a little bit big, and we also need to get that science on track that we just unlocked in order to get our blue science going. So if you like this, please like and subscribe the video, and hopefully I'll see you in the next episode.